He's always fucking TV ready. Nothing has a label on it.
He's always TV ready.
Nothing has any kind of logo on it. They're like,
right,
bring something with no logos. Eminem's like, I already beat you to it.
I think Snoop, he just brought Death Row, so that
He
makes
did just
sense.
buy Death Row, and he's dropping a project.
So
Yeah,
made all the sense
back
in
on
the
Death
world.
Row. Yeah. How do you think Suge feels? Like
Watching all this, or the Death Row thing.
just both, like
Oh.
watching this and I was gonna say that. Yeah, watching this and then on top of that, just the full thing. Like first of all, the choreographed Crip Walkers was hilarious. I was like, yo, I'm for this. I'm excited that we're doing this, but also like.
It was like
so
27 blackety black things that happened in the course of 10 or 12 minutes. You got Snoop smoking weed before the set.
But not on stage.
But no, he just dug down. If I was up, it's legal. What they gonna do?
Snoop should have smoked on stage.
He
He's
should have
Snoop.
smoked on stage.
I
agree.
I did bet on
was a
whether or
missed
not
opportunity.
Snoop would smoke on stage. I placed a bet.
Tell me that was a prop bet. Please
Yeah,
tell
it
me.
was. It
Oh
was.
my
I
God!
bet-
How did I
bet
not know
on it.
this?
I also bet that he wouldn't smoke weed on stage, so I was like,
So didn't you bet against
weirdly-
yourself?
Kinda,
Right.
I was like weirdly rooting for him not to smoke weed, and then if he would have, I would have been like, which like I don't know, it's just a weird
What a
thing.
great bet.
But I just thought he wasn't
Oh,
going
I
to.
would have put.
He didn't smoke
I'd
weed
have
on
put a
stage.
G on that. That Snoop smokes on stage.
The only things I bet on were what the coin flip was.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And whether Snoop Dogg would smoke. I wanted to bet on the Gatorade. I like all those special bets. I think
Those are
fucking
amazing.
hilarious.
I felt awful for my husband because he wanted to bet that there would be a touchdown thrown in this game not by a quarterback. Right? So he talked about this for like a week.
Damn.
And his a friend of ours was going to the casino in Detroit to place the bet, the prop bets and everything. And he was like, "Oh man, you can only do that one online." And my husband, instead of asking his other friend to do it online, he didn't. And so I thought he placed the bet. So as soon as Joe Mixon throws that touchdown, I was like, babe, you won. And he was just looking like, I hate everybody. I was like, did you place the bet? He was like, I didn't place the bet.
And you can't say anything in that moment. You got to just be like, yeah, we
just
did
let it
didn't
rock. But I think I did it on Jamar Chase to be Super Bowl MVP. And what else? We put money on Odell to be Super Bowl MVP.
we? Yeah. So unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean he was on his way.
He was
Yeah.
on
He
his
was
way.
on his way until he got hurt.
Start.
Early. Was killing it.
He was killing them. And what was the other prop bet we did? And then I think it was just I won on the Bengals covering, so they covered.
Okay.
Yeah, so
See, I don't bet. See, I don't know. I never got into betting. And now I don't like betting on anything I can't control. like if you used to be like, yo, let's play a one-on-one right now and you put some money on it, I'd be like, I'm down for this. Like,
right,
let's do this.
because you can.
Yeah, I
you
can
can control
go
how
out
you
there,
play.
do whatever I'm doing. Yeah, and then I can only blame myself if I lose. But I just can't live in a place where if I bet some real money and I see a nigga out who dropped the ball or something. I got a problem with you now, fam.
So you would like you're good with like if you go to a casino, you like roll dice or whatever because you feel like you controlling it.
No, I don't even do.
You don't even do that part
I play
of it.
blackjack a little. And
Okay.
then even when I play blackjack, I still like in my head only play with house money because I like might take out $250. And
Right.
be like, oh, $250, cool. And as soon as I make $250, I just put the $250 to the side.
Right.
And I just play with everything.
With
else.
everything else, right?
Yeah, and from there I'm like, this is cool, but niggas do not like me on the blackjack table.
Why?
Dude, because I'm nigga that be in there and be like, I got 16. I know I should stay, but fuck it.
No, you don't. You're not that guy.
I'm that guy.
Tell me you're not that
I'll
guy.
be like, yo, I'm gonna hit
That's
this shit.
horrible.
And it'll be like a 3 or a 4. I'll be like, yeah. And then nigga next to me be like, that's my card. I'm like, shut up, buddy. It's my card, obviously. Yeah, I'm a bad person, I guess, but I win.
That's
I win this
literally
way.
terrible.
People hate playing with me.
You go against the odds? You're just always trying to hit 21 or what?
No, it's just here and there. Like if you playing by the book, that is that person's
Right.
card.
Like it's like
Yeah.
if you get
Yeah.
if you get like 12, like you're not supposed to hit. Okay.
Really? You're not supposed to hit with 12?
I'm hitting that shit.
No, you don't hit with
all
12.
Because you're
day.
going to hit a 10.
Or I should say
the
this:
royal.
you hit like I'm sorry if the dealer has like 5, right?
Yeah.
And you have like don't take the hit because you know he's gonna bust,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why you can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody on the table be ready to fight him.
Yeah, for sure. But I
like
try to give them a heads up beforehand. Like, I try to let people know, like, yo, if y'all try
By
to
the
play
way-
it for real, don't sit over here. Because I've been over here making money my own way. I need
That's
y'all
so
to leave.
funny. Yeah, they would want to fight you.
Yeah. This is the Wine and Weed podcast.
That's right.
We smoke
You're
a little
right. You
bit.
smoke
We
and you do
sip a little
wine.
bit, and then we talk about the
Oh my
news.
God, I need to come up with a
Just
concept.
Very
like this.
irresponsible of us to try to jump into the news a little
Listen,
drunk.
We when we had the show on Vice, I mean, it aired at night, and so we had to act. We were filming it at 7:30 in the morning. So
God.
like, we would be drinking at like 7 a.m.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like
Just to feel like it's a nighttime show.
we were trying to give it the vibe, and especially like when we would do these down barrel commentaries. Like one of mine involved doing shots of Hennessy. So I had like 3 shots of Hennessy. Like it had to be 7:15 in the morning.
And you just woke up as well, or did you
I mean,
do the show
I've been
like
in the
you
studio
stayed
since
up?
6. So it's
Okay.
like about 7:15 when we started taping. It was like, all right, let's go.
Are you a different person by that third shot of Hennessy?
Isn't everybody? No, just kidding.
I agree with you. I wouldn't trust myself to.
You know,
to
I
do
gave
a
up
show.
Hennessy for a long time, and then I came back to it. But I only sparingly do I come back to it. So
That's fair.
actually, let me be specific. I didn't have to give up Hennessy. I had to give up Incredible Hulks. That's what I had to
Oh.
give up.
Do people still drink?
No.
Incredible
This is years
Hulks?
ago. This
Okay.
is like in its heyday of
Yeah,
like
I
Hypnotic.
remember
yeah,
that.
the Hypnotic heyday. I was
Yeah,
doing
what the
that.
fuck happened to Hypnotic? Is
Probably
Hypnotic still
too
around?
many people got their ass whooped or whooped somebody's ass, so they stopped. It just went out of business on its own. Like, we can't have this irresponsibility.
You used to drink Incredible Hulks?
You showed me Incredible Hulks in like maybe 2010.
You're right. It's
or
like it
some
was like
shit.
in the 2000s, like
Yeah.
early. feel
I
like it was
showed it to you. What you mean I showed it to you?
I feel like the first time I learned about an Incredible. Hey,
I ain't never had it.
You've never had an
No,
Incredible
I
Hulk?
might have told you what it was, but I've never had an Incredible Hulk.
Oh, I've had one in real life for sure.
What?
I
Oh,
thought
I've
it was
not.
when you used
That's
to have
like-
that apartment in
No, I mean,
Hollywood.
yeah, but I wouldn't have bought no Hypnotic or no Alizé or nothing to mix
That's
it
like
with.
a hallmark of the early 2000s.
I wasn't drinking then. I wasn't drinking. By the time I was drinking, I was already trying to order premium drinks. So I didn't get
So
into,
you never went through that cheap
I never
liquor
went
phase?
into cheap liquor. I didn't drink till I was 24, 25. So I was
Oh my God,
yeah, so
that's
I was
incredible.
I already had a job and shit. So I was ordering drinks as a person that was out and about with a job.
What y'all talking about?
What's up?
We're talking about Hypnotic.
Yeah.
Wow,
Incredible
Have you
Hulk.
ever?
That's ghetto.
It's a rite of passage.
It's true.
Yeah. I assume you've had an Incredible Hulk.
No.
You've never had an Incredible Hulk?
No, I don't even be drinking like that. Y'all, well, some of y'all know, but I don't be drinking like that. I'm new to drinking.
Ooh.
Like
Really?
I'm,
This is an early 2000s thing.
yeah, I didn't
so-
start drinking till like a few years ago. Like I missed the whole boat.
Wow.
Wow.
see.
You
That's
just
amazing.
I
you
know
just
what
feel
the
like
Incredible Hulk
White
is,
Claw
sure.
has
Thank
been
you.
like your era.
White
Claw.
Okay, the caucasity for me. White Claw. Who the fuck is drinking
I
that
just-
other than white folk?
Oh, is that?
I have never seen somebody black drink White Claw
Oh,
ever
really?
in life.
I just
Period.
saw that White
Don't
Claw.
trust the nigga that
White
hands you
Claw
White
came
Claw.
out of
At all.
nowhere. Seltzers came out of nowhere like 3 years ago, and now seltzers are just fucking.
I have never
everywhere.
seen a black person drinking.
Oh, white people
seltzer.
are
We don't
loving.
fuck with
Oh no,
the
white
seltzer.
people fuck with
They
it.
live for
like,
it. Yeah.
hard. I'm just like, why are you drinking this?
Yeah, they go crazy.
Because White Claw is supposed to be less calories.
Yeah.
Of which I'm
yeah.
like, what's the point if I'm already drinking?
Yes. How'd y'all feel about 50 Cent though? I knew he was gonna come out. I called it. I bet on
You
that.
called it.
Oh,
You
really? I had
called
no
it.
I was
idea.
like, 50
What?
Cent coming out. I'm
Dang,
telling
that's
y'all.
a good call.
And they was like, where? And then legitimately he came out. But I also felt like, man, we almost lost him, didn't we? I felt like 50 almost died up there. 50, man,
Yeah.
know that blood was rushing to that man's head so crazy. He looked so thick upside down. I was like, yo, get my dog down. This looks crazy.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Also, I feel bad now that I also know that the performers don't get paid, because I just imagine probably for like the first 10 minutes of that, 50's just like kind of like hanging on a bar, like about to go upside down.
Yeah, it's like, at what point does he start hanging?
Oh no, they showed it. They showed it behind us.
Is he just stuck in
Nah,
that?
he literally
Like-
went up in that bitch 1 second before.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I
Last
ain't playing no
minute.
games with y'all.
You're right.
I thought he was
Last
like in the in the
just
thing,
as a bat, like
kind
you
of
sleeping that way?
just kind of waiting to hang upside down.
I felt bad that he got fat shamed like that, because I literally just saw him the other night at a watch party for the new version or the new continuation of Power. And he looked fine. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing.
I think when he turned right side up, he looked fine.
None of us would look good upside down.
I don't
No.
think
Have
so
you
either.
tried
It's
it?
angles.
It's
like,
not cute.
It's not cute.
I
Right.
also think we're comparing him to 20
Buff
something
ass
years ago.
50 Cent.
Of
When
him
he was
being
in
like
immaculate
24 and
shape.
yeah, just being cut the fuck up at all times.
Did he have the bulletproof vest on? I didn't even know.
No,
no,
that.
he had
not
that. He had the tank. The
G Unit tank?
G unit.
But that wasn't even a real G Unit tank either.
Oh,
I got
was
to call 50 out for that because I saw it and then like they just put some tape on it.
You know
in
what?
the back, it was gray and black like they had used fucking
not gonna do
electrical
my
tape
man
and
like
duct
that.
tape in the back.
Yo.
No, I'm a 50 fan. I love 50. But I also was like, man, they didn't need to put you in the exact same outfit. We know who you are.
And we
They-
know that song.
Yeah,
so
they put him in the G Unit thing, and then he had a headband on.
He had. I didn't even. Yo, I was so
Damn.
hyped. I didn't even notice.
They had
Yeah,
50
he
out here crazy. I ain't like it.
Yo.
well, I mean, I'm sure. I wonder how he felt doing a song that's like what, 15 years old, 20.
No, I think it's 20. No,
It's
it'll be
20
plus?
19, right? 2003? 2002 it came out.
Right. Wow. 20
Wow.
years old.
20 years old.
Oh my God.
Thank you, sir.
Wow.
Look, as much as it was a step forward for hip hop, if you want to call it that, that show was basically for white people. It's for white people who knew. It's for
I
white people
loved
who
it.
knew hip hop. In terms of the song selection, like they were taking the most familiar songs that they knew.
Yeah.
So,
but-
and I'm not saying it should have been anything different, but
You
like,
wanted Mini Man though. You was like, yo, how this nigga out here? If he ain't shooting this
I'm
nigga,
like,
up.
come on, Mary.
they was crip walking. Like
I know.
What?
Were they?
Somebody called it the Hamilton.
Hamilton?
The Hamilton crip
I
walk, and I
know,
was
but
dying.
I know, but it was still. It was giving what I. That was as far as we were gonna get.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like-
it's definitely not a criticism.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we needed the Hamilton crip walk.
Listen, I liked it. Okay,
Did you?
it's the police. It's the feds.
I don't know who that is. It's definitely not the feds, but no, I mean it was definitely for white people. It was literally the most diluted version we could give them of hip hop without giving them Hamilton. Of being like, hey guys, we're not bad. You see, that's what it was for the NFL. They probably have to go over the song list too. Of like,
Oh, they do. They're very meticulous
Yeah,
about it. They
'cause
watch the rehearsals.
Kendrick
Like,
couldn't say Popo at all.
yeah, and I hate Popo.
Yeah,
Dre
hate
sang,
Popo.
but he said
True.
Yeah, Dre did.
Dre kept
and,
his.
And Eminem did kneel. And I think that
He
was him
did.
trying to do something. I don't know what. Eminem's
I
just
liked
not.
it.
Eminem's not connected enough to people in general for you to make a statement. But I guess if we gonna see you
Really?
once every 15 years, I guess you're trying to make a statement.
well, he's always been pro Kaepernick, but and look, there's a lot of conflicting reports about did he ask, did he not ask? You know, what's the real story? I hope he didn't ask the NFL if he could do that. How is it a protest if you ask him? I
don't
just
think M
asking
would
for a friend.
ask. M doesn't strike me. M is so like disruptive to me. I feel like he's always been that way. I mean, if you're talking about putting Kim in a trunk as like one of the first things that we know about you, you really don't give a fuck.
Well,
You know?
it's
it's
odd though because
I don't
like
think he would.
It's strange because like in music, I feel he's that way. Most artists, you know,
Yeah.
that are hip hop artists, it's a rebellious genre by nature, right?
Yeah.
But it's different when you're dealing with the Super Bowl, when you're dealing with the NFL, when you're dealing with Pepsi.
Yeah.
We saw what happened to Janet Jackson, right? This is a level of power that is different from what they are used to dealing with, frankly. And the NFL is very heavy-handed. They're going to go over every lyric. They're going to watch all the rehearsals.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure there's no surprises.
But Eminem would have reminded them at some point, hey guys, I'm white, okay? And that's the difference. Because no, I'm just being real. Because they said that they said they told him that he couldn't kneel. And maybe that's why he made the decision to kneel.
Right.
It was like, oh, y'all ain't gonna come back here and tell us what the fuck we can't do. I'll do what the fuck I want to do. But at the end of the day, yeah, Eminem, I don't know if Eminem got the same rules. Not even, I don't know. I know Eminem does not have the same
No, he
rules.
doesn't. I mean, he knows that. That's why of everybody that performed, he was the one that is probably the most likely candidate to do that because he's not as connected in the way that, and he's not going to pay the same price that the rest of them might pay if it was something. But the other part of it too is that, you know, like, to me, protests are about disruption. They're not about you asking. They're not about doing it in a gentle moment where everybody's like, oh, it's about doing it where the stakes are the highest. Okay. People are pissed when you kneel during the national anthem. They're not pissed when you kneel during a performance. And that's no criticism of him, but it is to say that it is a very sanitized version of what actually caused people the uproar. Colin Kaepernick being blacklisted was that.
It's more of like a reference than a protest.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
That's
like,
the way to put
It's
it.
homage.
It's correct. It's like, oh, we recognize this, but I don't know. I mean, it's funny because like I don't know how to feel about not just the performances, but the relationship in general. Because all the people that were on the stage, these are people that the NFL would not have blown snot on like 10 years ago, right? Yeah. Like they have never been accepted by the general culture of the NFL or, you know, frankly, mainstream America. So I found myself asking, like, this is a great show. This is great for nostalgia. This is great for hip hop. But they didn't need their validation. They didn't need their acceptance.
See, I felt like I was just excited. Like the entire performance, I was happy to see it because I am tired of, and no disrespect, but I'm tired of like the J-Lo, Shakira, the same typical pop things. I loved when Beyonce had her moment.
The Coldplays.
Yeah, like the typical shit.
Maroon
but
5.
For me, it just
5.
like, you know,
Again?
shout out to Jesse Collins producing it. I love that Jay-Z had his hand in it. I love that it was like in LA Rams, all LA, like Dr. Dre, that entire era, having Snoop there. I mean, I just felt like it was for us. I know that it was a watered down version. Obviously, like it goes up when we listen to these records and we want it to be that way, but we didn't get it 100% authentically the way we would have wanted it to be. But it just felt like a move forward. And I know there's a way to look at it and see that that's not really what it is. But at the same time, it's exciting for me, like when I'm watching like regular basic mainstream media and they're talking about Dre and they're talking about Snoop and they're talking about, I'm like, finally, these are our GOATs, these are our greats, and they belong at the Super Bowl, whether we fuck with the NFL or not, whether we believe this is the move or not. I still like to see them be given their flowers because they were happy to be there. They were excited about it, and they made it special. I felt like they still have, I mean, I would have liked the Tupac hologram. I ain't gonna lie.
What happened to that?
Where was Pac? God damn it.
I actually was surprised they didn't close with California Love. That's what I thought they were probably going to close with because that would have been an opportunity for everybody to be involved in the song. I was like, for sure, that Pac hologram's coming in.
Did y'all want it?
I wanted it.
I kind of wanted it. I'm not going to lie.
With all the technology.
I would have been surprised I didn't even think about a Tupac hologram.
How dare you? How dare you?
I was surprised by 50 Cent. I didn't know what the surprise was going to be.
50 threw you off.
Yeah.
Hasn't Dre owned this technology or this whatever for forever?
The
He was like
hologram.
one of the
forgot
first
about
people who
that.
had the Tupac hologram
Yes.
10, 12 years
right.
ago on stage before we even knew what the fuck a hologram was doing at a concert. Dre had brought out this Tupac hologram, and apparently it was like $500,000 per night he used it.
Damn.
At the time.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
And we were all like, oh. But I'm like, we don't need Tupac to come out, the hologram, y'all.
I want that.
I want
okay,
the
we
hologram.
saw that LeBron commercial where it was like new LeBron and
then-
young
yeah,
LeBron.
young LeBron, yeah.
And obviously that last Martin Scorsese film with the whole, just where we
Hershey.
are in, with where we are in technology, I would have loved to see, I don't know. I feel like it's not.
I don't want to see no cart, like.
I don't care.
No, like, yeah. Yeah, like that's to me the most watered down version.
No.
You might as well go as watered down as you can go and be like, all right,
No.
we're going to only let you perform the number ones that you have. The show felt short too compared to other shows.
I agree. It did.
It felt very short.
But
Yeah.
was it actually?
No, I think it was because
I think it actually was,
I
yeah.
think it was a little
Yeah.
shorter because I was there at the game and I looked at the clock when they went off and it was like 9 minutes left. Right, the halftime of the Super Bowl is longer, so it's about 35 minutes. And I know they need some time to break the stage down, but that was like a little shorter than what they normally go. So I don't know if that means they left something out or if they felt like our work here is done, if it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
But it was a little shorter than what you normally see from a halftime performance.
Damn. I still feel the way that people aren't being paid for their performances, but whatever.
They never have been.
They never have been.
I hate that.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money though.
Yeah, but pay people for their time. It's just
But they
principle.
are paying you when they think about it through equity. They're paying you because they know that you're going to go get $1 million deal as soon as you leave here.
I
And you're
know.
not getting it if you don't do the show, right?
I don't know. It's just principle.
So then
Well-
but you're paying them.
I understand it kind of
It bothers me.
It bothers me too, just because we know, especially when it comes to black artists, like what that relationship and getting paid for your work has been like, right? Black people. I don't even have to say black artists, but it reminds me of when you hear about media outlets in New York or even record companies always having unpaid internships. I'm like, why y'all doing that to people? Because there's a level of elitism that comes with that. That means you only want the type of people who will be able to be on this internship and not be paid, right?
Yeah.
So with the Super Bowl, it's like you have to be able to afford or to be of a certain class of artists, number one, and be able to afford to take whatever hit it comes with. Like if you need costumes, if you need extra stuff for your set, then...
How about those musicians who aren't famous, like the guys who are in the band or the dancers?
What you mean?
Are they getting paid?
Yeah,
like, are they getting decent money
Everybody's
for
still
it?
getting paid.
Because I feel like if you're the
Except the
drummer
artists.
for
I
the
think
Super
the artists
Bowl,
are
That's
just coming out of
fucked
pocket.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You're
saying. I
putting-
think they're paying the
You're putting
band.
on your
Okay.
own production. Now you may do some side deals here and there if you want to, and you know the NFL gonna watch all that shit. But you might strike a little small deal here, like if Eminem wanted to wear somebody's hat, maybe he possibly could have,
Right.
and got some money. You can garnish deals like that. But they know that you're gonna get Pepsi. You know you're gonna get these certain deals. They look at it as like, well, we're the NFL and we're giving you the stage. That's enough pay right there. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying it's been going on since the beginning.
Yeah, I don't like it. Obviously, it's water under the bridge how much you make technically doing it. You got money. If you're doing the Super Bowl, you got dough. It doesn't matter. It's more just the principle, like everyone's getting paid but you. The only time I would do some shit and not get paid is if it was charity and I knew all the expenses were covered, or maybe I'll cover the expenses. But if it's the fucking Super Bowl, like I still want to get paid. I don't give a fuck.
If it's a really big platform, you're like, you still...
No, it's
you
the
wouldn't do
print.
it.
I'll donate it to charity if I. But still, like y'all make so much fucking money. You're telling me you're gonna make me do it for free, and I'm black, and it's Black History Month. Now fuck y'all. Fuck y'all.
What I want to know is what's the rationale why they don't pay people? Because that's the part I've never heard. Like I've known for years they didn't pay people, but
Yeah.
I've never heard what is the credible argument for not doing it.
There's none.
Right, because
They're
isn't it like
haters.
the biggest Pepsi ad of all time, really? Like, and the Pepsi money goes to the NFL? It doesn't go to the
No,
artist?
it goes to the artist.
Oh, so when it's like the Pepsi
Yeah,
Super Bowl
they-
halftime
they
show,
pay them.
Pepsi is
Yes,
paying.
Paying the
they do
NFL,
Oh,
yes.
No,
But
they're
is Pepsi paying the artist?
When the artist does the commercials and all that stuff for Pepsi,
Right,
yeah,
that is paid.
them. Beyonce.
But what
did it
about the
one year.
show?
No, the show is not. Pepsi is paying you for that, and they're probably giving you basically what your show is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just put on a production, and you might only be. I mean, I imagine Dre covered the production. It was his production.
Dre covered a lot of
But
it.
like, you would normally only be covering your production, right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing a show in general, you be like, all right, well, I'm bringing my set. That's all depends on how you bring, like, you do your set. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick's set down there didn't cost nothing. There was some boxes he used.
I'm dead.
No. It was the best set to
It
me.
was lit,
It was the best
but it was-
set.
I'm
The
dead.
camera work was correct. Everything.
It was the coolest part of the
It
performance.
looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how you produce that yourself. But I think that they get paid. They used to get paid from Pepsi. I knew when you used to sign on to do the Pepsi halftime show, Pepsi used to give you a deal. I don't know if they still do.
I don't think they still do.
So my beef is with Pepsi. Cool, got it.
It's just it could still be with the NFL because if they wanted the artist to be paid,
Yeah.
they could fight for that. And by the way, the artist could fight back. You know, part of the reason why they've been able to get away with it for so long, it's kind of like what happens in college sports. Like until the people who are the quote labor challenge the system, then it's gonna stay the same system. But because you have artists that will leap over each other to do it, then they can keep doing it the way they've been doing it, right? Because they know they all ultimately will agree to do it.
Yeah.
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 And it's, you want to jump into the show?
Should we
Let's
jump
jump
into
into
the
the
Oh,
show.
I thought that was
We
the show.
haven't-
My
we
bad.
haven't
It is
started
the
the
show.
show.
Yeah, it's
But
sort of the
you
show.
know
I
how it
figured.
goes.
Yeah, my
Welcome
glam
to Wine
together.
and Weed.
Hey.
I'm one of your hosts, Sterling Steelo, Brim, aka That Dude, aka Uncle Elroy, SDB to your best degree, all that good stuff. I don't do it no more.
Wow.
I don't do my AKAs no more, but y'all know who I am. And with me as always.
Hey, I'm Chris Reinacher, aka The Connoisseur, aka I explain my AKAs. But
I
then
saw
that's
that.
it. You see what I did? You see what I did there? I
saw
can't
somebody that
explain
said
it
that.
because then it would ruin my
Oh,
what I was doing there. And with us reading the facts
Today-
is Keshia Chante is back.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Keisha.
me. It's me. Hey, okay, hi.
You still want the opportunity for AKAs or you good?
AKA Kiki, AKA the baddest bitch. Okay, AKA a God's child. Okay, wait, what? I would have.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I would have went really like I could have took it so far.
Oh, we were
Oh,
going
pretty
at
good.
so far at the end of last season that we had to scale back with the
You have to
AKAs.
scale back the AKAs.
Yeah.
I don't have any. Jeez, I feel very left out.
You don't have any AKAs in life?
Nah,
You got
man.
some.
Nobody's ever called you
Okay,
anything
so
else?
it would be Jemele, aka J Hill, aka Juice, aka Jay. That's
I
it.
have no AKAs.
Then
It
you
starts
like
to
four.
run down them.
I'm just going by the things that people have called me. That's it.
Yeah, well, If you guys don't know, we have Jemele Hill on the show today.
Hey, thanks guys for having me.
Journalist, yeah, a lot of things. You wear a lot of hats, but you're amazing. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. This is going to be the highlight of my week. I already know.
Oh, we
Wow.
appreciate that. I don't know if you mean that sincerely.
I do. I mean,
but we'll
that
take it. We'll take it.
Wow.
We're recording on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We are recording.
Oh, I
on
guess I
Valentine's
shouldn't have
Day.
said that. My husband is probably like, "What?" Oh, babe, you know you're the default highlight of my week.
Any special plans?
We do. We do have some special plans. This weekend has been a special plan, but it started. I took him to the Super Bowl, so that was his Valentine's
It's
Day.
a pretty good Valentine's
That's
Day.
pretty good. I like to think, and we have a chef coming through making us a Valentine's Day dinner.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
I have some presents to unwrap that I told him I will wait till right before we have dinner done. So
Do you know what they are already?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It's even better.
It's even better. Yes.
Oh, so you guys do it up for Valentine's Day.
We really don't. I mean, this is pretty low
Chris
key.
just do it down.
Well, I mean, you got
Like you
gifts
do
to
it.
unwrap. It's like under a tree. It's very Christmas. you
Yeah,
know?
well, it's just it was a big box. That's all I saw, and a card, and he's very good at cards. Like he always writes the best notes in them and all that kind of stuff. So
That's great.
And you and your husband are so cute.
Oh,
you
thank
were
you.
were being honored yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday. At the Essence Women,
Women
in
in Sports.
Sports.
Yeah,
and I was
Women in Sports.
there. And first of all, your speech was inspiring.
Oh,
but
thank you.
also your interaction with your husband. I was like, y'all so cute. I love it here. It was cute.
yeah,
It was so cute.
we're year 3. So we're still. I don't know if that's still a
It
newlywed.
feels
new.
like still newlywed.
It's
Still
still
a
new.
newlywed. They
I
said
think
it's
so.
after 2 years. It's not, but I feel
Yeah.
like you make your own. But yeah, I mean it's been great. Everybody's like, how's marriage? And they ask you in that way of they are preparing for a negative response.
Yeah,
I'm like,
which is bad.
I'm like, if I'm in year 3 and I'm already like, I'm sick of this motherfucker, we in trouble. Right? But it's
sure.
been great.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
You want to jump into the articles?
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
If you don't know about this show, what we
Yeah.
do on this show is we smoke a little bit, we sip a little bit, and we go over the news of the week. It's a very topical show. We have a whole bunch of different things we'll jump into, from sex robots to
Oh.
Shit.
No, I'm joking. I'm just,
Okay.
I'm
Here
joking.
we go.
Well, we
It
cover
always
sex
comes back
robots.
to
So
sex
It always comes back to sex
Somehow,
robots. Okay.
somehow.
All right.
the main goal of the show is to wrap it back to sex robots at one point.
All
And,
right.
and it looks like we're gonna hit 100K this week. So thank you to everybody. We love you. Happy Valentine's
Thank you.
Day.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
What are we smoking? We're smoking a little CBX over haze, and we are sipping on
some Pinot Noir, some Pinot Gris
some
Ooh.
Grigio.
Ooh.
fam.
Okay.
from J
Talk to me nice.
Vineyards and Winery in California. With that, let's get into the stories of the week.
Broken heart syndrome cases surge during pandemic, with women more likely to be diagnosed. So a team of doctors from Johns Hopkins Cleveland Clinic and Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles have conducted research that shows a surge in cases of Takotsubo syndrome, God bless, or stress cardiomyopathy, during the COVID-19 pandemic, per ABC News. Y'all get it, okay? It's some disease, all right? So the research shows that the spike in cases has been most prominent in women. So the condition, which has also been referred to as broken heart syndrome, refers to when a person becomes so affected by emotional and physical stress that it triggers a response akin to a heart attack.
Whoa.
Dang.
Ooh.
So literally dying of being heartsick.
Yeah.
Are these people dying of this, or are they just like?
Or not dying, but just having a
Nah, I
heart attack.
wanted to know. Shit, I want to know what's going on with this disease out here.
It says stress hormones that cause a temporary irregular heartbeat. Okay. So unlike a heart attack, those who suffer from it are expected to make a full recovery in a shorter period
So
of
it's some
time.
dramatic shit. You being dramatic, sweetheart.
It says middle-aged and older women, that's really rude, are more likely to be diagnosed with a broken heart and more susceptible to suffer from complications that lead to a hospitalization.
Oh, this nigga got me.
Yeah, so cardiologists have been saying this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, that's the article.
That's good.
That's fucked
cool.
up.
That's cool.
Wow.
That is real.
That is
messed up.
crazy. I just did, like, do you feel like this is real? Do you feel like there's some shit that men are using to control women?
Is this part of the patriarchy? Right?
It's like, is it like there? It's not really a heart attack. It's just giving you an irregular heartbeat for a little bit.
Well, here's the thing, right? Stress can do a lot of things. I've had health complications before where I was like, what is wrong? And the doctor's like, you're just stressed. And especially if you're emotional, obviously grief is one type of completely different feeling. But I feel like heartbreak, when it's truly a heartbreak, not some dramatic shit, but when you're really feeling heartbroken, it can feel like a grief. It can feel like,
Oh, yeah.
you can't feel sick. I've seen, you can lose weight.
Yeah.
You can have a panic attack. Your mental health could go left.
Not want to eat, lack of appetite.
Yeah, like I've definitely been through like a heartbreak where I was like, I feel like I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? And not some dramatic shit. I know that there's women who, you know, their profession is men. I know there's women that just be popping out babies just to keep a nigga. Like, I know that is a real thing, and this is a great excuse for women to keep men. Like, you hospitalized me. You know, there's drama attached to it. But in real life, like, people really love hard and they grieve hard when things end.
I don't know if we need doctors to put a fucking label on it.
I believe in
Nobody's disagreeing that people go through shit. Yeah, heartbreak really hurts. No one's saying that it doesn't.
Yeah.
Saying that I don't know if we need doctors to jump in and make it all fucking sciencey and all that shit. It's like your heart hurt a little bit. Okay.
Not a little bit.
Like
Some
you
people
over here being dramatic. Like that's part of life.
But what the article may not answer the question of is like, what other things could lead to this as well? Like, I imagine it's not just a broken heart or a bad relationship or a relationship that didn't pan out that lead to this. Like you brought up, like if somebody has a loss in the family, if there's another stressful situation, I would bet there's similar symptoms.
They just blaming niggas though. Did you hear this article was like, hey, men are the problem.
Men are trash. That's what happened. I mean, listen, everybody processes breakups differently.
Yeah.
What I really do hate about the narrative around women, especially around Black women, is that every day there's something in the news that basically tells us we are unwanted and unlikable, which I think is like really kind of a crazy, like we've been going through this for decades now. It's like the trope of the unlovable Black woman who can't find a man. It's like at some point we need to stop giving credibility to that, because the opposite is actually happening. I don't know if y'all ever saw that timepiece that was done about how men, for the first time in history, based off research that was done about American men, I should say, is that more men actually want to be in relationships than women. And I'm not surprised at this.
And women like, nah,
they like,
y'all got us last time with
exactly.
that shit.
Well, but the cultural shift makes a lot of sense, because for a long time, women had to depend on men for survival. Like just in the sense, like we couldn't have a bank account at one point without men. We couldn't have credit without men. We couldn't do anything without having a man, right? Once that shit went away and we got rights and education and shit, y'all became less useful. And somebody actually on social media, I think it was Twitter, put this in a hilarious but true way, is that men actually have to have a personality now. Like you can't actually lure us. I mean, look, there's women we know that chase the bag, and it doesn't matter if your personality's trash, if it's great, they're gonna be with you, they're gonna fuck you just because you have a lot of money. Totally understood. There's that sector of people. But for accomplished women who make their own, do their own, you gotta bring something to the table.
Oh my God, the standards are so high. Like you really gotta come correct. It's not even just like personality, it's the way that you treat a woman has changed. I feel like there's so many different types of men, but I think because of the way that things were before, and also just like if we're talking like athletes or entertainers or guys who feel like they're high value or whatever the F, I find that they're so used to like getting any woman that they want that everything is so low standard. And then when you meet a woman who is independent and accomplished and could give a fuck, it's like you really got to change your whole.
That basic shit don't work anymore.
Nothing basic works.
And that nigga might only want a basic chick. So what
that's also true.
I mean, like that's too
That's
hard.
I think that's also the misconceptions that people think like, oh, you with that chick? Like this might be who that man want to be with, because he might be like, this is less work.
It's true.
This is that. Like I don't want to do that shit you talking about. Like that shit sounds crazy.
Well, you know, you hear men always talk about they want an independent woman until they actually get one. And it turns out they don't actually want one.
Well, I think too, because, and not to go down this route, but I think that there's, you know, to be an independent woman, I think there's an idea that, you know, even though you don't need a man, like I always say, like I don't need a man, but I want a man to be the man. Correct. And I will submit if you can lead, right? I think there's a lot of independent women that are scared to be soft, especially as a Black woman. It's scary to be soft and be vulnerable. It's not what we are used to, because we're usually like having to claw out of some shit and be like, look, I'm here, you know? So with men, we're like that too, but it's really nice to be able to, you know, sit in your femininity and your like softness and be vulnerable. But it's such a crazy dynamic as a Black woman and an independent woman in the dating world. But I do really believe that men want to be in relationships, because women in relationships, when they're healthy or normal or smooth, we're nurturing, we take care of you, we help lift you up. I mean, a lot of really powerful men have really great women behind them. Fuck right, you want a relationship.
I mean, we extend.
I mean, they be cheating like a motherfucker, but they still want someone to hold it down.
They cheat, but
they still want someone to hold it down, and the one that holds it down is usually, it's a dope situation to be in. Honestly, I mean, it's designed for the man still, but
and I think men also want to be in relationships because they're not happening as much. So also when it's something that's like, you know, if you knew that's what you could expect, like the whole American dream was getting a wife and kids for, you know, I'm just saying, like in the 60s and stuff, like you hear your parents of like, I met your dad, and you like, but you watch women put their lives on hold because they wanted to marry somebody and doing this different thing. So I think that like men just knew relationships will always be there. Now when you don't see them as much, it probably makes men also be like, shit, I want that rarity.
I think on
both relationship.
On both sides, there's also like almost an insecurity element where instead of when you find somebody, you stick with them. You find somebody, but you can also, you have something in your pocket that could find somebody better in any second, you know, like, so I don't know if that's
You're
really.
talking about the technology.
Yeah, you go on fucking a dating app or DM somebody, or all of a sudden I feel like people are.
Don't go on Tinder, man. Yo. You might find yourself out of $200,000. You might get swindled.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, because my enemies is after me.
Because that shit was unbelievable. All I know is I need to move to Europe, because if that's how they giving out credit and loans, like I'm in the wrong fucking place, right? Like all you need is a pay stub and they will give you 25 grand. Like
I wonder how many chicks he met that was like, I need you to get a credit card. She's like, my credit's shot, nigga. I can't get no credit card.
That's why he couldn't run that shit here. He'd be fucking in the game, right? In America, like you can run that overseas.
Bitch, we already got him off the
They
credit
don't
card.
have Equifax over there, right? Like you can do that, but like here, hell no. Wow,
that's funny.
Do you think that idea has heightened the standards or like lowered the standards? It has to have heightened the standards for who you choose to be in a relationship with. The fact that like partners are more accessible now than before. It might have been your mom met your dad and like, okay, I found love. Don't want to lose it.
This is the best I can do.
Don't want to lose it. I found it.
I mean, I get that. I feel like, you know, people talk about meeting their soulmates, and I just can't be convinced that everybody's soulmate live 2 blocks from them. It's just a hard concept.
You like convenience? Is that the soulmate? Okay.
But like, you know, I always say that, you know, if we had this technology back when, man, we don't know. We would have had a whole bunch of cheating scandals of our leaders. We wouldn't have wanted that shit.
It might be less kids here. I mean, to be honest, because like a lot of, I think we're probably going to see this as the years go on, and it's already happening. It's like women are deciding to have either no children, less children, or waiting way later to do it, because now that we're in a time where we can reach a certain earning potential and kind of get our own thing going, more of us are just not as interested in that. Like that's not, I don't know if being married and having children is the central American dream for women like it used to be.
I agree.
Yeah. And so,
and I'm happy that women understand that's not the real dream.
But I don't know if that's changed that much for men though. That's the thing, is like our picture of happiness is changing. I don't know if their happiness picture is changing. Like they may say like, oh, I want to be out here in this field and I want to be doing my thing. That should get old after a while. Y'all ain't got the stamina like you used to. Like you get to a certain age, it's not cute to be 40 years old and still like running them in and out. Like at some point, that shit slows all the way down. So I think we are much more content in that respect of like just having our own world, our girlfriends, you know, kicking like we are. I don't know. And I could be wrong because clearly I'm not a man, but I don't know if men are going to find the same satisfaction in the things that they were told made them men like they used to.
No, they'll just find new things that tell them they make them men.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So Jonathan Allen apologizes after backlash for saying he'd want to have dinner with Hitler. that took a turn. I wasn't.
You weren't quite expecting. That's where the story was going.
I was like, who's Jonathan Allen? And then I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, the Colts running back, I think.
So
Washington Commanders.
Washington Commanders. Sorry,
So
Commanders.
Yes, player Jonathan Allen took to Twitter to apologize after answering a fan's question by saying he'd want to have dinner with Hitler, who he went on to dub a military genius.
How do you need this to play football?
He wrote early, and if it doesn't sound right, that's how he typed it, so don't get mad. All right. Early, I tweeted something that probably hurt people, and I apologize about what I said. I didn't express properly what I was trying to say, and I realized it was dumb. So the original outlandish answer came after Allen was asked which 3 people, dead or alive, he would have dinner with.
This wasn't even like, what the fuck?
So
it's not even like they gave him the
It's an unforced error.
It was not even an interview. He just picked this shit off Twitter.
He just responded.
Oh my God.
He just showed up with Hitler. he just showed up with Hitler. Nobody asked him.
Oh my God. In the since deleted tweets.
Knock you down.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
In the since deleted tweets, the defense tackle chose his grandfather, Adolf Hitler, and Michael Jackson. What an interesting eclectic mix.
Granddad, like, nigga, don't put me in that
He
group.
said, "What 3 people would you want?
And Mike.
Would you want to eat with?" He said, "My granddad, Hitler, and Michael Jackson."
He does realize that
my
Hitler
God.
would not want to be in that at that dinner. Does he not understand that Hitler ain't showing up for that one? Okay,
I didn't think about that. They would all 3 be there.
I'm
at
like,
the
in
same
one
time.
dinner, that's not happening.
That's
okay.
not happening. So this response prompted the obvious follow-up question, why Hitler? And he just
Wait, who asked the follow-up?
The obvious follow-up.
The obvious follow-up.
and
That's
this
funny.
man replied with, he's a military genius and I love military tactics, but honestly, I would want to pick his brain as to why he did what he did.
What?
I'm also assuming that the people I've chosen have
Gotta
to
hear him
answer
out.
all my questions.
Nigga, you be dead for that first question.
He was high. He was high. He had to be high. Just say I was high. My fucking bad. My fucking bad. I didn't know what I was saying. Or my Twitter got hacked. I don't know. Make up something. Don't keep going. I would have been like, abort
and he
mission.
You
elaborated.
can't say your Twitter got hacked and you used your grandfather.
Right, that's true. That's
like,
true.
Nah,
That's fair.
you brought granddad in this shit.
Yo. Oh, yeah. So now people are mad. That's the article.
They should be.
They should be. Right?
People are also responding like he's not considered top 5 military leaders by any measure.
Yeah, because
He
then,
wasn't
well,
even-
actually, Twitter kicked in, which is
Yeah.
like hilarious. I was like, so all of a sudden, we got a bunch of military strategists that are all over Twitter who are like, they're like, actually, the way he came through Normandy was like, it's like, what?
Let's talk about General Patton if you want to have dinner with someone.
Since we're always on the subject of military geniuses, it's like, okay.
Yo, somebody in the tweet said Jonathan Allen when Hitler starts calling Michael Jackson and his grandpa the N-word.
That's why I was like, does he not understand the history that he's not showing up?
Yeah.
Nah, he was high. Something ain't right. You know what? They hit their heads a lot. So it was the
They
concussion.
hit their
Yeah, his
heads a lot.
head. Say the way his head set
come in
up.
that hot, fell. They hit their heads.
Some ain't right. Some ain't right.
Hey, listen, there's plenty of football players who have experienced head trauma.
Yes.
Who would not say Hitler at
You're right.
the dinner.
You're right. I'm
Okay?
sorry to the Players Association. I don't want to misrepresent y'all.
But it is it reminds me of something a friend of mine told me years ago, because I have my own unfortunate history mentioning Hitler at the wrong time.
Oh.
So
None
yeah,
of
for a
this.
while, if you Google my name, Hitler was like the first thing that came up, which is
Damn.
never
That's never
something
good.
you want in the Google
Okay,
search. But
got
when
it.
I was at ESPN and I was a columnist for ESPN.com, I did a column. This would have been 2008 when the Celtics and Lakers, that finals, where the Celtics beat the brakes off of them in Game 6, and Kobe lost. They won. The Lakers won, of course, I think the next year. And I was doing a column because when I was growing up, I grew up in Detroit. The Celtics were very hated, and definitely by people from Detroit. We lost to them in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe, in 1987. That's the only sporting event I wasn't there, but the only sporting event that made me cry almost. Because when Bird stole the ball, I was like, oh my God, I was beside myself. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So at any rate, this is when they had Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, and that group, right?
Perkins
Kevin
was
Garnett,
there.
Perkins,
Yeah.
yes, that group. So I was writing an off-day column about how distasteful it was. It was tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic. It was to see the Celtics so beloved, because basically at this point they were a black team. When I was growing up, they were a white team, even though they had a
The
black
whitest,
coach.
yes,
And black
for sure.
players, right? But it was like Larry Bird was the face of the franchise. So,
Yeah.
and it was Boston,
Boston.
right?
Right.
So it was
Yeah.
like two things happening at once. So I wrote this column, and I had a line in there that said, rooting for the Celtics is like rooting for Hitler. I actually wrote that, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you imagine how Boston fans felt about me for a while. And yes, I have an editor. The column was only posted for a couple of hours. But in that couple of hours, I mean, it went viral as much as going viral was in 2008. And even at the Celtics-Lakers finals game, there were signs about how I should be fired. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I will never forget 2 bits of advice I got. One, an executive at ESPN who's black told me, he was like, black people never mention Hitler.
Yeah.
That is just the rule. Like, don't mention it. Don't care how you mean it. Don't mention it. It will never work out. Okay. And another friend of mine who left me this funny ass voicemail, he was like, the word you were looking for was Stalin. Nobody ever gets pissed if you mention Joseph Stalin, right? Even though he's murderous and terrible and all that. But he was like, nobody gets pissed at Stalin. Everybody gets pissed whenever you bring up Hitler. So my advice to Jonathan, keep Hitler's name out your mouth.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg just mentioned Hitler. That was crazy.
Well, but you know what? It was a little different.
I was just gonna say
that was much different.
I was just gonna say I
thought that suspension was whack.
I thought it was whack. I thought it was interesting that they suspended her for 2 weeks. I thought that was like interesting. I also think that The View, that's the show, right? The View may need black translators sometimes. I knew what she was trying to say. I knew that also, okay, I get why people are getting mad about this, but I know what you're trying to say. Like, I was explaining this on the podcast. Like, I don't know if you're Jewish or not just by looking at you. Like, and I'm just saying what she is trying to say. So in her head, it was like, oh, it wasn't a race war because white people are on white people. But you're like, no.
But if you have dinner with Hitler and you ask him if it was a race war, Hitler will say
yes. 1,000%.
Yeah, and I mean, even just the word race. If we're really gonna dig deep, the word race, the idea of race, categorizing people, all of that is racist as it is. Like,
it's a social construct. It's not a biological one.
Like putting people in boxes is already an issue. I'm not like terribly offended by what Whoopi said, but it did rub me the wrong way.
The problem with what
I get what she was saying though, but it rubbed me the wrong way.
The problem with what Whoopi said is that, okay, about historical events, if you're going to bring them up, there's 3 or 4 basic things you need to know about that event. And the number one thing that was pretty obvious is that was a racial, that Hitler
100%.
Hitler and the whole Nazi movement was about them thinking they were the pure white race.
Yeah.
And anybody else who wasn't, they were persecuting, period. Yeah. And so they exterminated 6 million Jews because of it, because they considered them to be contaminating the race.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very much a racial persecution. It's sort of like people not understanding that about slavery. That's how basic that fact is. But it's not like Whoopi Goldberg said she was pro-Hitler, pro-Holocaust, that the Holocaust didn't happen, which is frankly what we've heard from a lot of people who are political leaders. Like far-right folks have said some dangerous, horrible things. Hers was one of ignorance. That is different than being willfully malicious, right? So I think when they suspended her, it was basically, they got scared. And the other thing too is that Whoopi allowed herself to be corrected.
Yeah.
Like the Anti-Defamation League president literally came on the air and he was like, this is why you were wrong, Whoopi. And she was like, I get it now. I accept it. Like, it was actually a great teachable moment and how it should be if you make a mistake like the type that she made. And it just felt like ABC was trying to make an example out of her to prove that people who lead left, we can get on them just like we could do on somebody right. Now, Meghan McCain was on that show for years, said some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. I have never seen an apology for Meghan McCain for anything stupid that she said, nor a suspension. And so that's why it just really, to me, seemed like they were just more intent on setting an example as opposed to actually dealing with what was said. And I felt like on television, they dealt with that fine. They dealt with it fine. And everybody could have just moved on.
You think they asked her, could they set that example?
Hell no.
They pulled me to the side and was like,
No.
yo, you had been asked about that 2 weeks off anyway. Let's just,
like,
let's
here's
just
some
go ahead and
vacation
agree.
time you can have.
I think because that night they put her on Colbert, which is on the same network, right? I think if during that interview she like
Oh no, it's not the same
totally
network.
said
Colbert's on CBS.
he just happened to be on the
She
next
just happened
network.
to be on.
Oh,
on that.
I felt like if on that she like was like, hey, I'm sorry, and went straight with the apology, then I don't think they would have pulled her. But it was kind of because she was like, but you get what I'm saying though,
She was
right?
kinda
Like she
standing
kind
on
of
it.
doubled down a little bit.
Yeah, which like fair. I do get I get what you're saying, but again, it's just the people who were doing that were racist and thought they were racist.
course.
So
Right.
the
Yeah.
intent was racism.
Yeah.
But I get what Whoopi was saying. But the fact that she didn't say sorry, I think that's why they pulled her. So that to
Two
be like,
weeks
that's wrong.
in
2
network
weeks
TV is a long time.
It
you
is a
know,
long
as
time.
someone who served a 2-week
Yeah.
suspension before at ESPN, that's one of those message sending, miss a step today, you be frying fish tomorrow type of suspensions, where they're basically telling you if something like this even close comes up, you're probably going to be out of a job.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't like about it, because again, you just had somebody leave who used to often habitually line step, and then now it's like, oh yeah, now we're going to try to make an example with her, and I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
also
just glad she
can't-
wasn't fired.
I also can't stop thinking, if you have dinner with 3 people who are dead, like,
Wait, who's your 3?
Who's your 3? And are you like giving a little bit more attention to 2 people than the other one? Like, do you feel bad for
Like,
leaving
when you
your
really have a
grandpa
good
out?
dinner with
Granddad
3 people,
come,
Like,
Granddad-
Jesus
Granddad, you're just
is
here,
here.
'cause
What are
I've
we
had a lot of
eating?
conversations with you, Granddad.
Where are we going? What
Yeah.
are we eating? Where are we going?
That
What's the
determines
vibe?
how you're-
How long is this dinner?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I feel like you have to either go all family or all celebrity. You can't mix them, right?
Oh, you don't think you can mix them?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think family ready for for Jesus? They not ready for
Well,
Jesus.
Jesus is like kind of the obvious.
He is family though as well.
Jesus isn't dead, like depending on what you believe,
Yes,
right? So
that's
I
true.
won't. let
That's
me not
true.
get in
Well,
trouble
I thought
by
it was
saying
dead
Jesus
or
is
You're
alive.
right. You're right.
Like, let me back off. My bad, Christians. I'm sorry, right?
Well, if it's dead or alive.
No, I think it's more interesting if you go dead.
Okay,
it is
okay.
more
Yeah.
interesting dead.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
more-
who's y'all 3? Everyone's got 3.
See, it's hard for. I wouldn't pick a family member because I probably had a lot of dinners with them. So like my grandmother, like she passed in 2010. Like I love my grandmother, but we had like a million dinners, right?
Yeah.
No disrespect, grandma.
Yeah, we
But
did it though. We did it already.
yeah, we already did that, right? So it's like you kind of want,
New stuff.
new stuff.
All right.
I think Whitney Houston would definitely make my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, and Prince as well.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely taking Tupac. I do not care. I'm Tupac
that's
till
such
I
a good
die.
one.
Tupac is my first.
That's such a good one.
Hologram Tupac or the real one?
I want the real deal.
Okay.
I don't even have many questions. I just would love to be like at a dinner with Tupac. I would like to bring all of the news and information of like, this is
Ooh.
what's going on right
Right.
now. What are you,
Like,
what are
do
you
you think?
thinking?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Because he was so passionate and he was already forward thinking in his time. I'd love to see what he would say and do now. Like, I feel like he was such a disruptor then. What would he say now? Like, that would excite me.
I'm gonna pick Harriet Tubman. That'll be one.
Harriet Tubman.
Hell yeah. Definitely.
Ooh,
I'd
that's
be
a
like,
good
let me
one.
show you the world, Harriet.
Like, Harry, you ain't gotta talk like that no more. I keep telling you. Stop talking.
You're not gonna mess with Harriet like that. I'll be like, Harriet, there's some of them you should have left behind. Here's
I'm
here's
one of
why.
it. It's my family. It's my whole family.
Let me show you the lineage you should have left behind right here.
I'm trying to think if there's any like unsolved mysteries, like someone I could
Yeah,
be
I
like,
was
yo,
trying
who
to think
killed
of that
you?
category as
killed
well.
you?
Like,
Who
I need to
killed you?
know.
You ain't gonna get Biggie in there and be like, who killed you?
I know.
I just asked Pac. He
I
probably
was
knows.
like, you could ask Pac that.
He probably be like, shit, you
Damn.
know what happened was he probably knows something. They were probably talking up there. He got the tea. Tupac would have all the tea.
You have all the tea. I'm trying to think of who I would like eat with.
I know. I'm trying. I want to make it fun, but like I also like the idea of answering questions.
Yeah.
I want
But-
me and Bob Marley could just roll up. We just
Oh,
hang
Bob
out.
Marley's a
Yeah, you just
really
wanna
good
cheat
one.
with
That's a
Bob.
pretty good
That's a
one.
really good one.
Even Bobby.
I'm trying to think of who else.
Ooh.
I also like. Does everybody want to talk to you, or are they like, oh, I was in the middle
It
of
don't matter.
stars in
We've
heaven."
been summoned again.
in the middle of something.
Fuck. I feel like Steve Jobs wouldn't be a bad person to
Ooh,
talk
that would be
to.
That's a
great.
pretty
Okay, yeah.
I like Steve. That's a good one.
Or you
do
feel
it-
like you want a good storyteller too.
Yeah,
right?
I'm about to say, I want Kobe as well. Kobe for me.
Ooh.
Like, just, yeah,
Did
Kobe.
you interact with Kobe when he was here?
When he was at Ridiculousness, he came and me and him chopped it up for a minute, and then we had a whole bunch of mutual friends. But I was like, oh, this is a nigga right here. This is my guy. And he was so cool, and I was just like, yo, man, you dope as fuck, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to think along what you said about, is there somebody who died? Like, we sort of know what happened with Biggie. Like, I don't think Biggie knew who killed him necessarily because of the way it happened.
Yeah.
Right. So, but is there anybody who is, killed that you're just like, you had to have seen who it was? How did that happen?
I mean, I guess it's Hitler. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Hell no. We know what happened. How he died. Like, right? Like, no. But like Malcolm X would be, right? But like, do you really think?
But do he really? Is he gonna be like, nah? Unless he can Minority Report and go back with you and really be like, no, let me see that nigga. Oh no, I know him. Get your hand in my pocket. That's Jamal. That's Jamal.
Well, yeah, you do wonder, much like you said, about how, people in the past, how they would look at our world now. Like, I wouldn't want to ask Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., like, what,
he thought of Dr. Dre at the Super Bowl.
But I would want to show him, like, a McDonald's commercial with his likeness and be like, what you think? See how they did you? You know what I mean? Damn. Like, see, look at your face on all this. You know,
like Basquiat, you see you in Urban Outfitters.
See what I'm saying? Like, you see you on these party flyers talking about some come kicking on King Day.
You see Jay-Z's hair? You like Jay-Z's hair?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, it would be kind of wild. But
I think you gotta have an ancient pick too. Like,
ancient pick.
So you can just be like, what was regular life like way the fuck back then?
Yeah, you're right. I will ask Adam. I was like, was she complaining? Was Eve like? It was just
like,
y'all.
who really got y'all caught up?
I would love to go back to. I mean, if we're really going deep into this, like, I would love to go back into like my ancestry, because I'm a black woman, but if you go to Canada, they're going to say I'm mixed or biracial. Here, to me, I'm a black woman, but I am technically mixed. So I would go back to like the Portuguese side of my family, because I'm Portuguese, Puerto Rican, and Trinidadian. But I would go back to the Portuguese side because there was some slave owners.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're Portuguese.
Like, I'm here, nigga. It's me.
You're like, look what happened.
Now sit at that other table. I'm going to talk to Michael Jackson.
And I got your last name. Like, how the audacity. Like, how does it feel? How does it feel? Damn. I don't know. Who knows? There's people definitely in my family that I'd love to see. But yeah, I think those are all really good ones.
I'd be afraid of doing the ancestry thing.
You've never done it?
Nah.
Oh, I did it. It's so fascinating.
It's crazy.
I'm scared of it.
You should do it.
I don't know why I'm so scared of it.
What are you afraid to learn?
Because I'm just like, it ain't about learning. I just like, I got to trust a white company to tell me what fucking DNA I got. That's
you
crazy.
Don't trust it with your DNA?
Yeah. I'm like, well, I don't think I'm going to do nothing with the DNA. I think just like for them to like send me back my breakdown. I'm just like, how I know y'all ain't lying to me, fam? I'm just way too skeptical of shit for me to receive it and be like, this is real.
Yeah.
But I want to know. I be wanting to know shit.
See, I'm fucked up. So for Christmas, I got my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my dad, and my aunt, the Ancestry DNA thing. I was like, Merry Christmas. Now, y'all gonna spit in this thing, and I'm gonna let y'all know. It was for me. It was for my own selfish reasons.
Did they do it?
They all did it.
Oh, great.
And it was really fascinating because my grandfather, he's lighter than me, and he's got bright blue eyes and blonde hair. And if you ask him,
so he white. You don't want to call him white?
No, but he's my complexion.
I'm joking with you. The way you describe him, like, so he white.
He sound white. But when you talk to him, he's like, I'm from Trinidad. I'm Trinidadian, and that's it. It's end of discussion. But I'm like, is there anything else? I'm curious. Like, I'd be curious. Anyway, he got mad. He was like half German or something like that. And then my grandma, everybody had something that was interesting. That
we just had Alana actually sent me an article. It was on Twitter of the girl saying basically that her ancestors, her great grandma actually ran away, obviously, and she could pass. She was passing. She could pass for white. So she told everybody she was white, and she was black.
Damn.
And their family is now processing this. They're all finding out they're basically black. And like as the girl's talking, then as she's saying it, I can see the black in her more and more. Right. I'm like, look at her. I can't see she is a little black.
How did they not know?
Yeah, but it was interesting, like, because that's probably a whole bunch of people's stories, probably a common story of people being able to pass for white at a time where obviously it's every privilege in the world of me being like, I'm not black. Maybe I should go and say I'm white. I'm full white. And, it's just interesting. I don't know.
It is interesting.
Yeah, especially if you came up during a time like, let's say, like Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Given the level of racial terror that black people experienced, on some level, you kind of can't blame them for doing it. What's interesting when you do the ancestry, though, is like once they give you back your report and everything, is when you start delving into where your current relatives are, right? So
see that I don't like.
No, well, you it's just mostly out of curiosity, at least for me. So, and you, because most of us, obviously, our lineage didn't start in America. When you get to a certain level of cousins, the complexion completely changes.
Yeah.
Right, it's done. Like, I mean, basically anything beyond a third cousin in my lineage is all white.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. I got like, I mean, it's like relatives all over Europe. Like they trace everything back. And I'm like,
that
wow,
shit's
that's
wild, fam.
I don't want to know nobody. I already got enough family members. Should be expensive. I'm good. Y'all chill. I don't know y'all.
I got fourth cousins apparently in England. Like I'm going to show up at
that's what I'm saying. I know I'm white too. I know I'm part white because my grandma was like 50%. Yeah, she is 50% white. So like for me, I'm just like, I don't want to know.
You don't want to know your white family?
I don't really, like, they ain't never tried to find me.
They probably didn't know you existed.
Well, what's fucked up about
true.
Ancestry DNA is when I first did it, like, my percentage of how black I was, it really fucked me up.
It was lower than you thought?
It was lower than I thought. I called my daddy like, what?
She mad.
I was like, Daddy.
Milk,
and then it was crazy is they update it every year because they get more information and more people do it. So then they'll say there's an update in your percentages.
Damn.
So I've gotten
even less black than you thought you were.
No, I'm getting more black by the year.
Oh, okay.
I love it here. I love it here. I'm excited.
Wait,
10 years from
there's
now.
an update in your percentages? I don't really understand how they can.
Me neither. And you know what? I'm a smile and nod as long as I'm still a nigga. I'm happy. Okay, that's all I want in my life.
You know what's funny? You say that as a joke, but one of my friends, for sure, who I grew up with, I know as a black woman, and out of nowhere, she told me like, "Yo, I got my actual ancestry. Like, I only have like 4% black.
Only 4?
She's really just white." And I was like, nigga, I don't know how many times you said nigga in front of me, but apologize. But apologize right now. I feel
she raised under the impression she was black.
100% from Chicago, like full on, like it threw me the fuck off. I was like, I might be exaggerating with the 4. It might have been 8%, but it definitely was not. It was definitely single digits, and it was definitely pretty much a white woman.
So what's the percentage for you to be allowed to say the N-word? What would we agree
This is a good question. We can't answer
25,
this question.
50? I think it has to be 50 or more.
I think 50%.
Maybe 51 or more.
I would just say this. If for some reason slavery came back, whatever side they won't put you on, to me tells me. Right? So it's like, if they looking at you like you one of us, okay. Yeah. Right? I mean, ancestry, of course, you know, you have to be black, I think, right? But if you're looking at people who may be multiracial or what's the effect there, but I think if you know, because you've lived the experience.
Yeah, you know.
Like, you know. So.
Yeah, I think for me, 50%. It should be dominated. It should be a majority. It should be a majority.
Characteristic.
Because even if it is 50-50, my blackness makes me believe we 51. So I'm gonna still go ahead and think we 51. So am I
51-49? That's what it is. Your
so
boundary.
It's gotta at least be that for me to be comfortable with you being like, nigga. I'm like, all right.
51.
Let me see that ancestry report.
Run it, fam.
Carry it around like a Vax card. Like, here it is. Boom.
Okay.
There's an update. I'm 51 now.
Ooh, I know. What if it slides though? You started off 51.
There's an update.
And you like, I don't know.
Ancestry email you like, you can say nigga now. Did you know it?
Oh my God. I love that shit.
I just don't understand, like, maybe InShot should sponsor him to help him learn how to crop screenshots from his phone. I don't get why all his screenshots are bigger than our phone.
But I think you appreciate the fact that you know Kanye is doing them shits himself.
True.
But why is it like too big for
I also
screen?
just feel like it's the caps lock for me. Like it just feels, why are you yelling at me?
I was like,
yo?
yeah, I do feel like he's yelling.
It just
he is yelling.
Oh, well, that's true too.
Yeah, I find his whole thing fascinating. The level, like, he doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks about him.
Nah, and that's scary. Also, he be saying some stuff sometimes, and like, I'll be real with you. Sometimes I read his captions or different things. There's truth in some of them, but you're also like, nobody knows what you're talking about, so it just makes you look crazy. And it makes me sad because it's like, yo, you are saying some things here and there that you're like, yo, that's real. Or he's trying to say this, and that's kind of real. But also, nobody is reading all of that because the overarching story, it's just too much muffled.
I don't know who Skeet is, and I don't know who Bob is. Can I be
Skeet
honest?
is Pete.
Yeah,
Skeet
it's
is Pete.
Oh, Skeet is Pete
Yeah.
Davidson?
Yeah, he calls him
Oh, is that what
Skeet.
that is?
Yeah,
Okay.
He's calling him
Skeet.
Skeet.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he
I see.
tagged Bob, but it's actually just an account with 549 followers.
Yeah.
But I don't. Is that
I
a
didn't
guy
even
who
look.
works at Disney?
He's tagged so many people.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
didn't
keep
even
up with
really
all
look.
this. He tagged Michael Che. He tagged a whole bunch of people.
I love it.
man.
That was funny. The Mike. That
Michael
was
Che
funny.
response
Yeah,
was pretty funny.
like
I was like,
3
all right.
times more, and maybe I will.
Rambo this bitch, he said.
Yeah, I think you know what I think it is with Kanye. Like, I feel like he's in a predicament. Like, okay, yes, he is very loud, and he needs thicker skin because he doesn't need to be posting every single time something happens. He doesn't need to address everything. When you sit with him and you just have a normal conversation with him, he is so level-headed and so normal and can talk to you about these things in a very clear way. But for some reason on Instagram, he just be going all over the place. I feel like, from my perspective, is that he feels like it's a lot of people against him. The Kardashians, we know, run the media for the most part, right? They can plant stories, attention, drama. All of this Kanye stuff is great for the Kardashians. They got a Hulu series coming out. Kim is unbothered. She's like, listen, we're trending. This is great for me, And I feel like Kanye's just so tired of them being considered the Jay-Z's and him being considered the Dame Dash in the situation. Like, I feel like he feels like they're likable. He's not likable. It's easy to call him crazy. It's easy to put all this, negative stuff on him.
Yeah.
And I feel like he feels like he needs to be as loud as possible to be heard because, like, for real, like, there's shit
But
that...
he don't. Kanye has the biggest influence in the world. Kanye does not need to fucking be the loudest to be heard. That is something he is lying to himself about. That is insecurities he has within his head, and that is not true. And I'm not saying that the Kardashians don't plant stories. I'm not saying that they don't do whatever the fuck it is. I'm saying that the same way they have a team of people who can orchestrate and put it together. I know it's hard to really tame or to really reel in Kanye.
Yeah.
But like it's just like can't nobody deal with that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not necessarily well. And I want Kanye to be well. That's what makes me sad about it. Like watching the shit. Yeah, are these his true sentiments? Does he feel this shit? Yeah, he probably feel that shit in the moment. But that doesn't mean that this is a well person's response though either. You know what I'm saying? Like
I try. I'm trying to have sympathy for Kanye, and I just can't find any
Yeah.
personally. And this is us absent the Kardashians, which is like, what did you expect?
Also-
like, what did you expect? It's
Yeah. Also-
like you
Yeah.
willingly got into this family.
who you blaming?
I'm like, I don't know who to believe, but I do know that his behavior prior to this was bothersome. I still ain't forgiving him for the Trump shit, so I've been off him for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, the slavery shit, the putting Candace Owens in our lives, no. None of that. So I'm like,
We'll
I'm
never forgive you,
I will
Kanye.
never forgive you for any of that. For the dumb shit you say, for being like, I can't with him. So I'm like, hey man, charge it to the game. That's all I got to tell you.
Yeah.
And I hope that it is a thing where he's just not well. And I don't say that because I want him to be unwell, but at least there's a reason. There's like okay, that will allow me to have like more sympathy. But I think his issue is largely narcissism.
It is.
I mean, I definitely see that. I just think that, in the situation that he's in right now, I feel like there's things that go on behind the scenes, and he realizes that by throwing negative press at them gives him leverage when it comes to his kids. Like not being...
Do you think it does?
Yeah, because, for that... Okay, so... Like one of the things that happened, for example, was, oh yeah, you can go pick up North from school. And he went and picked up North from school. And then when it was time to drop her off or whatever, security was like, no, North, your dad can't come, and kind of like embarrassed him in front of his daughter. You know what I mean? And for him, it was a moment of like, do I press the yay button or no?
The yay button.
But it's a setup, right?
Right.
And that's what I always say. It's a setup. Don't fall for it. You know what I mean? And there's that. Then there was the situation with his daughter's birthday and like
But this is
purposely
all
excluding
still like
him.
how he's.
But
It's
my
still
whole
like
thing
we
is-
can't take it as pure as like Kanye told us to us, so it's true because we also have like enough credence to be like, This nigga just be saying shit too, y'all.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what it is? I just always struggle with like, maybe when it comes to like black men, especially like, maybe
I'm trying to get me on your side with this shit.
No, I'm a little bit of like a black mom. Like I can't help, like even
there's
like
a protectionism.
You being a dumbass, but that's my kid. You know,
Yeah.
like that's just how I feel about certain people, and I try to understand it as much as I can so I can empathize with it. Even if I'm like, I hated what you did with Trump, I hate some of the dumb shit that you said, I still see him as a great, and I feel like he's alone in the world, even though he's not. I still feel like there's an alone feeling there.
This is the Canadian in you speaking.
So when he lashes out and stuff, I just be like,
Kanye.
I respect it, but this is Canadian in you speaking.
oh, I just
Cause I'm from Chicago, and nah, nigga. No, I'm just saying like it's the actual connection when you know certain, like, maybe it is. I'm joking, but maybe it is a Canadian. And you like, also y'all just nice as fuck. And on top of that, Trump ain't your real problem. Trump is our problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in the sense of like, Kanye, you're saying things that are detrimental to our problems,
right?
Our issues, our community, and like for you to not be held accountable.
And then to run for president, I mean, I'm like, just say I'm voter suppression. That's all you were.
Yeah.
During a time where we could not afford that shit. You used your platform for the dumbest shit possible.
No, that pissed me off.
Yeah, and it's
100%.
like, dude, I'm not. I can't go. Just go, do your thing. Show up at the Super Bowl wearing a holy mask for some reason, and not holy as in God, but just full of, like, he just is a spectacle upon himself.
Damn.
And I wish he did have somebody in his life that would just be like, you need to get your shit together on all fronts.
I think he does. I think he does and has. I think that the issue with Kanye is simple. When you become so rich and you become so powerful, whenever somebody is speaking against you, you just have them removed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a billionaire. I'm a billionaire. The moment that you say, oh, I don't think, fam, that you handling this shit the correct way, or number one, nigga, you don't know. You're not a billionaire. Let's start there. Because that's what Kanye gonna look at you and tell you. Because and secondly, it's just like, yo, like now, the person that you may have needed around, now I could just have you removed and have a yes man in here that tells me I'm right. And that's dangerous.
I think him being labeled a genius has honestly been very detrimental to him, because
he is a genius.
Oh no, I believe
that.
No,
I know I'm musical genius.
No, he's a musical genius.
A musical genius.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why
more
I said
than a musical genius.
He's a musical genius. The only reason why I say that is because they always say your best quality is also the thing that will do you in, right? He's a musical genius. We know what he means to music, and because of that, people will always enable his abilities. Right, that's why you still suddenly that's why Jay-Z hopped on a song with him. All these people that had beef with him suddenly like, oh no, we got to come back because you're a genius. But that's the same shit that keeps him in this place.
That's a fact.
That's why he can't move forward.
Well, what makes you laugh makes you cry. That will always be the dynamic for him. But I think that he's a genius even bigger than music. Obviously, fashion. Just as an artist, he's very much
he's a creative genius.
He is a creative genius, and he's a black man in a world without his mama.
He ain't trying to take us down with this.
I'm just saying. You know what? I don't want to see him torn down. I like when people are humbled.
Right.
I like when people are checked. Like, you know, we're all
this
equal.
Billionaire is not being torn down. Let's stop that.
No,
Let's
but I just don't. I don't like.
narrative.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people constantly like to say he's crazy, fuck Kanye, oh, I'm sick of his shit, da da da. Well, and I'm like, yo,
it's the accountability fact that you're leaving out. It's like nobody is just saying this, pulling it out their ass. Nobody mentions Eminem. You know why? Because he don't come out of his fucking house. He stay in his own place. He don't do shit. I'm just saying. You don't hear people being like he crazy or he this. They might be like, I don't know what that nigga up to. Kanye is very vocal. He is fucking.
Yeah, but Kanye moves the culture forward.
I'm not saying
even though he's had backwards moments.
I love Kanye. I'm from Chicago. Kanye moved a whole bunch of culture forward. It does not mean you can never be held accountable. It does not mean that because I've done so, I made Jesus walk, so I'm going to heaven. You can believe that all you want, nigga.
Yeah.
You can believe that all the fuck you want. That is not true.
Yeah.
Like, you at the end of the day are a person. And your voice has gotten to. I know for a fact that Kanye believes he does not have enough power, and that's scary.
No, that's
because he
why,
has so much fucking power.
Well, that's where
Kanye
I'm
believes he's
coming
not
from.
heard, and he is heard more than
No.
anybody.
Like everything I said were things that he told me straight. Like at the studio, we had these conversations, and that's why I don't mean to be Team Kanye to be biased, but I genuinely I've sat there in situations with him where he's just like spoken very freely about what he's going through with his divorce and everything that's going on, and there's things that are like really effed up,
But
like
other people
really
are
effed up.
But I'm not saying to the same
And-
magnitude, right? Because he is in a reality that's not even real, right? He's
Yeah.
in a whole different world. But in the same breath, people are going through their own issues as well. Does not give them an excuse to just be a dickhead. Does not give them the excuse
Yeah.
to just handle themselves a certain way just because, oh, I'm going through some shit, so I'm gonna take it out on the world. Kanye does that in a lot of ways, and I'm not saying that no one has ever done anything to him. I think that he has had some things done to him unfairly, but also Kanye gotta be held accountable.
I get it. I don't like him attacking Pete Davidson because
I don't even care about that. I would
think-
like for him to fight Pete Davidson.
No, I don't.
I'm cool with it. Actually.
I get where his hate for Pete comes from, but I don't really like the trolling of like if you see Pete outside, run up on him and say that. I don't like anything
not
like
fighting for
that.
you, nigga.
I don't like any of that.
Like, it's your
but
divorce
I do
time.
understand that if you feel like other people control the narrative and you genuinely feel like people aren't hearing you and you feel I just let him go. Be loud. And the fact that he's Kanye is the only reason why everything he says we talk about. If he wasn't Kanye, he would just be a nigga ranting on Instagram right now, and we would barely talk about it.
I don't know. I don't think about if your friend posted like that. Like you would be like, someone needs to check on this guy.
Well, you would be
like,
that someone.
But he's up against something loud. He has to be loud. Like just because they're not as loud as him, they are loud privately.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
they
fair.
still being loud privately.
It's not fair.
We ain't
But
gotta hear that
it's
shit.
privately.
I mean, I
Yeah.
date
know.
myself, but I was like, the fuck is this Kramer versus Kramer remix that I'm like watching here? Like, I mean, it's like a whole custody battle just
And-
playing out in front of all of us. Like, I
Nigga,
don't give a fuck.
And don't get it
they just
twisted.
posted, nigga, Taylor Swift is at the end of the line. Like, how the fuck I get back in
Right,
this?
exactly.
I did not sign on to this picture.
I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't. I was like, I did not want this movie. I
Yeah.
did not choose it. Why do I have to be subjected to this?
I know Drake is like, nigga, I thought we just did a concert together. All of a sudden, I'm your best friend. He has watermarked Drake in post. This nigga had Drake sitting on some shit.
In the background. In the background.
It confused the fuck out of me. I said, what is even going on?
The
in
best
his
part
head?
about that poster was Julia Fox being in it on the opposite
Nigga.
side. I was like, poor Julia. She's just sitting there
She's
like,
like
I did not know what she
second,
signed up for.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe she did. I don't know, but
Maybe she did.
yeah, she probably did. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, is she a hostage?
She did.
Like, what's happening here?
She did interviews right away. I
Yeah,
was
she-
like,
right.
She definitely got her story out. She was like, listen.
Yeah, she said recently she was like, I'm don't know me as like the girl crying on a plane because we broke up or something like that. I'm speaking out of context, but she said I am the number one hustler. And I was like, girl.
But also, Kanye is just answering these questions for her. Like, it does not matter. We know she's not answering the question. First of all, the interview and the whole setup and the photo, I was like, this is Kanye. Kanye shot this to be like, Kim, look what I could do. I could be with another bitch and I can make you jealous. And Kim's
Make
I'm
another
actually
Kim.
laughing, nigga. I'm actually having a good time over here with
I
this.
mean, strategically,
You do.
why does he think any of this will work? Like, what is this?
I don't.
Like, I don't know why.
I
he
think-
thinks this
I
will work.
What
don't
does
know.
he think he's doing
Well, I
at the
think
end of the
He
day?
is pushing his family further and further
Right, because I
apart.
was like, I feel like you are destroying the very thing you say that you want.
And I
back.
feel
Man.
I feel like at the end of the day, it is about the kids, and you're kind of like humiliating the kids in a big way.
I don't know. I wouldn't
I
say
don't-
And
Kanye's
if
humiliating the
this
kids.
whole thing is
I
about
don't
the
speak
kids.
for the kids now.
Yeah, with
No,
all.
I'm just saying that sucks for the kids. If it's about the kids, I feel like keep it more private.
But the kids have been here since day one. It's been their life since day one. Not saying that like
I guess they just
this,
live a different life.
Yeah, they live a completely different life. Like since they got here, they've been on camera. They've had famous parents.
Yeah.
So I'm just, but I do
But
think it
this
does
is-
suck for the kids. I mean, I did see he took his kids to the game
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
he was with North.
Yeah. He was with North and Saint.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I saw North, but it's all I know is I do agree with you about the kids. Only from this standpoint is that at some point, they have clearly have access to the internet, and I hope both parents realize that a picture is formulating in their mind right now. My therapist told me something that's so true. She said childhood lasts forever, and I think I would hope both of them at some point realize that. Like, whatever it is you're showing them is what they will remember. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not going to remember, as they say, people don't remember sometimes what you do. They remember how you made them feel.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
I think that's what's crazy about childhood is that you become an adult and everything that you are is based on a childhood you can barely remember. You were never mindful. So really you're an adult, and I think of it as our brains are this warehouse of boxes with shit in it, right? And our childhood is a bunch of boxes that are taped up, stored in and we literally have little moments, and we spend our entire adult life trying to break down our childhood to understand why we are the way that we are and how we can be better. It's the most fucked up. Our childhoods are so important and people just kind of like brush through them. I do care about the kids. I think what I'm really most passionate about with this topic is just that I just don't like how it appears that, you know, one person is a villain and one person is a victim in the media. That's the only thing that I'm really more
the niggas
passionate
wearing
about.
all black everywhere. What you want us to do?
I just don't like it. That's the only thing I don't like. It's equal regardless of how you see it. It's still equal, and there's still two people involved. So that's my only thing. And
No,
yeah.
no, for a fact. No. I've never once been like the Kardashians are clean.
Yeah, that's my only thing. It's
I've
like
never-
everybody's like poor Kim, and I'm sick of it.
No,
I'm like,
I've-
nah.
Oh, my
reason they're
narrative is not poor
sympathizing
kid.
is because he
Is
left
doing
that open. He
Yeah,
left that door.
that's what all
like,
we
we
saying.
didn't know anything about what was happening.
That's all we
until
saying.
He told us, and once he started going in, he created the sympathy narrative for her.
Yeah. Right.
Like we didn't know anything. Like the public was ignorant to what was happening.
And that's what he's really missing is that, like, yeah, a lot of these inside, not jokes, but like these inside whatever, like the
These
scoops,
situations, like, we would not have known that.
But but you know what he is picking up on. I'm a Gemini, so I'm gonna go ahead and speak for him a little bit.
I'm a
Now
Gemini. I'm a Gemini.
I got you. So I'll tell you what
knows all the
he's
Gemini
doing. He's
tea.
picking up on little small things that she may be leaving, little trail bits that she might be leaving to be like, fuck you, right?
She is.
I know. Nobody else knows though, and you
I
gotta
would never
fucking be in
know.
your head and know that nobody else knows, fam. And she is baiting you to look crazy as fuck, which
She is
people
baiting
already
him.
believe you look crazy. Now you're just helping the argument. So she is baiting you, yeah, but
She
you're
is baiting
falling
him.
for it each time. So who the fuck you want us to feel bad for you?
Was it the Pete Davidson thing? Do you think that was, you know?
I think it's a whole bunch of shit.
There was something even yesterday. Like she literally, like Ye bought her this like really special jacket. And
Oh, the
she finally wore it, but on a date with Pete and let the like little
Because
shit.
Pete probably told her on some
Little
funny shit,
shit.
put that shit on.
Little shit. And you
'Cause
know,
I'm
he
the type of
just,
nigga to do that.
he just
Put
be
that
getting
shit.
mad. So then, you know, it's late at night and he just starts posting his shit. I don't know. I'm Team Ye. Fuck it. I don't care. I'll say
I ain't
it.
mad at you,
I just,
but I am.
someone's gotta rep for him because I feel so bad.
But like, look, black people, first of all, we're the most warm motherfuckers. We don't have a problem with inviting you back in if you sorry.
True.
And then if you cool about some
very
shit.
forgiving.
Yeah.
It's true.
Kanye has not done things to make people even forgive him. He's just been like, I'm Kanye. Which has
I
been,
want
which
more
has been
of the
his
Kanye
fucking
impressions.
stance on everything.
Just keep going.
Which has been his stance on everything since the beginning. It was just on the right side of history in the beginning versus now. We're like, yo, dude, you are the same nigga. You ain't never stopped being this crazy person who stands on your shit.
It was more directed for us as opposed to against us. And so once it get went the other direction, a lot of us is like, yo, this ain't college dropout Kanye no more. This is a different dude. I don't know who this is.
And you want us to still just defend you based on what you
I ain't
did.
doing it.
That's the hardest part. It's like, yo, if some dude that you was dating kept being like, remember that one time I did this thing for you, you gonna keep bringing up this other shit.
Listen.
Wait, is that a Kanye impression?
No, that's not a Kanye impression. Some other nigga. It's just like, remember that one time? You'd be like, yo, nigga, why you keep bringing up that one time? I'm talking about who you are today, fam. You doing this bullshit today. So Kanye, yeah. Do I love his old music? Am I a huge Kanye fan? Did he influence the culture? Does he nonstop have his
constantly influences
his
the
thumbprint
culture.
on the culture? Yes, nonstop. But guess what? The nigga still be saying some outlandish shit that I came back.
Yeah, but
And
when
doing
you're
some outlandish shit
yeah, but
that
when
I
you're
came back.
but when you're a creative genius, how sound of mind are you going to be for us to be able to sit
Prince
and
was a creative genius, and you ain't never heard him.
But there's some people who are introverts and there's some people who are extroverts. The introverts know, like the Eminems of the world, that can just stay at home and not be seen, and that's cool. And you shift, and you know, Eminem made a difference in the culture. You made one shift and he disappeared. Kanye is forever on to the next thing, and he's outside.
But nobody posts
I'll
like
triple it,
this
okay?
shit. Like if somebody posts like this about their marriage in any context,
But you're talking
it's
about
like,
the Kardashians. They love
but
it.
you could still
is not a
express
negative.
yourself in a better way than doing this.
to
So that I
us,
think he's
it's
just
negative.
unwell.
Kanye is a billionaire, right? imagine this. I want you to just imagine this.
Yes.
Imagine that this was not Kanye. Jeff Bezos went through some shit with McKinsey, right? You saw Jeff Bezos on Twitter posting all this shit about McKenzie's new dude, being like, I see you in these streets, bitch.
Run up on people if you see him. Like, this motherfucker.
Hit him with an Amazon package.
You know, I always say the most dangerous thing is a powerful man who's emotional. I know a lot of powerful men who are too emotional and they do things that are like, you really just need to sit in your power and get yourself together.
You think Kanye is suffering from a broken heart? Like the first album?
No.
That's a full circle moment.
It's a full circle.
Listen, I think that this is, for us, it's annoying and it looks crazy. I just think that the family loves it. I think it makes everybody money.
So you guys would be more than knowing this than me, as somebody who never saw one episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I thought they were leaving TV. Why?
Yeah,
and they're back at streaming.
I was like, they just pivoted, so it wasn't about retiring from TV.
Well, the issue was, first of all, they want more money.
Okay.
If you're gonna there's certain players in that family, they don't want to get up every day without a certain amount of money, and they weren't able to pay everybody. Like Kylie's dipping in and out because Kylie's a billionaire, and she's like,
why would I care?
Why do I want to be here?
Right.
But obviously, having that brand like sustains everything else that they do, and it keeps them in the news, it keeps them relevant. But Hulu offered them a lot of money and a faster return on the footage, because a lot of the times, like with when the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, a lot of the times they would film some shit and you wouldn't see it on TV and it wouldn't even matter anymore. It's so old and you're kind of just like recycling old shit, whereas Hulu was offering the opportunity to like, we're gonna get this out faster. Okay. So and this show is coming out soon. So what I'm saying is like, while this looks crazy to us, it's normalized within that family to create this stuff.
Oh no, we didn't say it has.
This is great.
I can't wait to watch this over again on Hulu.
They love
what Kanye do?
So this is being filmed right now? This is all going
1,000% being filmed.
They are loving it.
Pete Davidson's a star now.
All this crazy shit is crazy to us, but this is Kim Kardashian's love language. Be very clear. This is money in the fucking bank and attention.
Yeah, but my point is this, Kiesha. We're going to leave it here. Why do we care when we knew this beforehand? Like, why we gotta sit here and pat some nigga on the back? Tell us the prostitute stole my wallet. You like, nigga, you knew before you went in there she was gonna steal your wallet, fam. Like, why you mad at us? Cause you getting finessed.
But he's not mad. Listen,
he seems pretty mad.
I just don't want to shit. I don't want us shitting on him. I want us to just.
I love Kanye.
Be black mamas, smiling now. We still love you, okay?
Smiling now.
You're acting crazy.
You just want us to look at him and be like, "Po thing."
My thing is like,
I do feel that way.
My thing is scold him privately. That's like, as a black mama.
He's very public.
Yeah, but
like,
I think if he's doing public things, you can comment.
He's been too public with his dumb shit.
I mean, like, as a black mom, you know how like you don't embarrass your son, and like I just don't like the shit on.
But you know what you don't do, a black mama? You don't show out in public. That's what you don't do, because you know why that reflects on her.
Yeah,
right.
You don't play that game.
His mom, y'all.
No, I know he doesn't.
You the one who uses analogy. Now you gonna try to take us down.
I'm just saying.
Actual
and like
sense.
using that same analogy, it's about community, right? So if it's about community, the community that loves you, that puts you on, that is down for you, why would you ever, and I'm not even independent of the Kardashian stuff, it has nothing to do with that. He publicly humiliated black people.
He did.
And now he wants us to have his back. And a lot of us are like, should have thought about that.
I know.
Should have thought about it.
We can forgive him.
No, but because
we cannot. Because
this is the problem.
He hasn't been accountable.
The problem is he has never once even come out and just said, yo, my bad.
Like, I should have never said that.
Nigga could have been like, yo, I'm going to the store. Y'all want something? He could have did anything.
Y'all want something to eat?
Anything like that.
I got McDonald's money. Yes, Kanye. We would have done it.
And we would have been like, you know what? The nigga tried.
Boom.
He has not tried once.
At all.
Okay. He has just said, I'm Kanye. And that's enough, is it not? Nah, nigga. And that's why you wondering why, like, your circle look different now.
That part.
Now you just with whoever. You ain't even with your niggas no more. You just with whoever people counted out.
You said whoever counted out.
Come on. Anybody that people counted out, y'all come with me. It's like, come on, man.
I mean, him and Antonio Brown being friends.
They do not need to be talking.
I'm like, why? Of all the people, I'm like, okay, Kanye. I got it. I got to look to see is Antonio Brown and Gemini too. No, I'm kidding.
He might be shit.
Drake. Does he Drake and ask him if he can put him on the end game?
No.
No
clearance. Drake is just as surprised as us every time he sees a post. Drake's be like, again, nigga? Why am I in this one? Is that it? How much time is it?
Yeah, you want to wrap?
We did it, right?
Yeah, we talked about Kanye.
We did. This is the Kanye podcast now, apparently.
I know. I was like,
Gemini
wow.
from Chicago.
Gemini
from Chicago.
I get it. I'm from Detroit. If Big Sean was acting like this, I say the same thing.
So who's your Detroit person that you would go? Big Sean's the Detroit guy?
No, no. I mean, you mean that I would just forgive regardless?
It's trick, huh?
I mean, that's how Detroiters feel about it's so many in general because it's so few of us like that make it to a level of like a Kanye or a Big Sean.
How you
like
feel about Miles Bridges?
Oh, I love Miles.
As a rapper too?
I went to Michigan State.
Oh,
so
right.
That's I've
going crazy.
I've heard some of his stuff, and he's actually not bad.
Yeah,
at all. He got some ability. Sure.
Detroit's sound just randomly switched over to me to like kind of Oakland Bay-ish, like Grizzly. All them niggas like rap a certain way. It's so
Oakland
dope though.
And Detroit
it is
are
dope.
like basically
so
sister cities, right?
1000%.
Just in
Cartier
terms of,
buffs, everything. Like
I mean, and mentality, makeup, like it's very similar. But T Grizzly for me, that sounds like a Detroit dude.
Yeah, no,
right?
for sure.
Yeah, like that's how if you ask me, Siri, what does Detroit sound like? They would play T Grizzly.
Crazy.
Like that's him. All day. But no, I mean it's a little different for us because we definitely feel very protective of people that come out of Detroit.
I'm the same way, Chicago.
It's the same, right? When you're from a city, at least with Chicago, though, you guys, you're known as a cool city, because you have like all the not just the fame, but like, you have a great downtown. You have all these things that people are like, oh, Chicago's popping. People don't say that shit about Detroit. So that's why we have to be even more fiercely protective because like you're just not gonna be able to say shit about about the people that we have enveloped. Eminem has a very interesting relationship with Detroit. Like Kid Rock likes it because a lot of people, I wouldn't put Eminem in this category, like to claim Detroit and they nowhere near Detroit. Like they ain't even relevant to us. Like we ain't never fucked with Kid Rock ever.
Kid Rock.
Yeah, fuck him.
Where's he at?
Like he's from like Romeo. Like he's from like outside of Detroit.
I think Kid Rock is actually like a rich kid. I think that
is he? He be faking the 30?
Yeah. Oh, he fake as hell. I mean, he's
putting fake Mustangs on his fucking tank top.
I mean, now all of a sudden he a fake ass Southerner. That's why he was trying to excuse when he was flying the Confederate flag. I'm like, motherfucker, you from Michigan? Like what? I mean, like what are we doing? You know what I mean? He just wanted the opportunity to be racist. It's fine, but Eminem is like, we feel differently about Eminem because he has helped put on so many Detroit artists, and he's tried to develop, kind of a brotherhood of Detroit artists that are there. Even though to us he's a little bit of a recluse, is a recluse? I think it's recluse, but he's just he's mysterious. But like Royce the 5'9", who's like we all fuck with Royce, like so he's got a different level of stature in Detroit. But I mean, listen, if Royce or T Grizzly, if them motherfuckers was out of pocket for some reason or whatever, we would check them. That's when you gotta have. I'm shocked that, well, maybe it has happened, but like y'all gotta get the OGs from Chicago on Kanye. Y'all gotta get him on there and be like, hey man, I'm gonna need you to calm down.
The OGs talk to Kanye. It's just that like Kanye will talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like the picking up the fight with Pete Davidson, right? In my eyes, it's like Kanye knows who to talk a certain way with. He know how to work a room still.
Oh yeah,
he's a good talker. He understands like, okay, I'm talking to this person, I talk this way. Like so, like he probably be talking to OGs and be talking the slick shit real quick. Like, nah, nigga, you know I'm on with it. Like, the OGs got him to do a Larry Hoover concert.
Yeah.
Which we knew they wasn't getting Larry Hoover out.
Right. Which was why I was like, kind of like, wait, what? It's like,
whoa. But niggas showed up. Now Drake is an Avenger. All based off this concert.
He's an Avenger. That's hilarious. No, but we, as a community, it is hard when what should be inter-community conversations become public, right? And it's not like we can round up all the black people and we can all sit at a council meeting and like have these issues out. And unfortunately with Kanye, it's one that has played out quite publicly. I just hate that he feels good and comfortable about punching down. He punches down, and I don't think he realizes that he does that. Like, you look silly sitting up there being in your feelings about Pete Davidson. Mm-hmm. You look real silly.
Nah, for real.
Like, and I agree, it's about audience. And there's certain people he would never have. I was trying to think of somebody, but I couldn't really think of somebody. But if it were a different person, he wouldn't have to say that. But like now we all look at you like you look like a clown. Like you sitting there in your feelings about Pete Davidson.
He ain't gonna pull that with everybody. Like Game did a record where he legit was talking about how Kim Kardashian sucked his dick and did all this.
And now they got a song together.
And he said, "Oh, but I'm gonna stop saying it because Kanye my nigga." Cool, whatever, cool. But for you to do a song with that man again, I'm not saying from before, but again after this, he's been talking about your wife in a way that, like, fam, you not trying that with certain niggas. That's just it. Like, you not being tough with everybody. Like, you doing that with Pete Davidson.
Well, I think with Pete, it's like no, I'm just saying. I think the thing with Pete, the reason why he's trolling him in the way that he's trolling him is because Pete has trolled Kanye on SNL. And I know it's Pete's job and it's different.
And they used to be friends too.
And they used to be friends. Okay. And when Kanye and Kim were kind of dissolving, you know, he felt like Pete swooped in on some weird shit and that was his friend. Okay, cool. And obviously Pete, you know, trolled him on SNL. So he's like, oh, now I'm gonna troll you, goofy nigga. Like, that's the energy that he looks crazy to us, but in his mind, he doesn't feel like he's crazy. And then the Game thing, Game was with Kim before Ye. Yeah. Game set up Kim and Ye.
Nobody's saying he didn't.
So I think because of that, I think that's why Ye just kind of writes off Game. I really do.
But to mention, but like that's one.
I think he's like, whatever. Like,
and I'm cool with Game, and I know Ye too. So I'm not. It's not even like that. I'm not gonna be biased or make it like. It's one thing that I set y'all up cool. I'm not even tripping on none of that. But I mentioned it again afterwards. It's irrelevant to the fact.
No, it was disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. And at the end of the day, for that man to still do a record, I'm not saying how you should or should not feel. I wouldn't do a record with a nigga after he was like, your wife sucked my dick.
Yeah, but
I'd be like, I gotta draw a line somewhere.
You can talk it out.
You can talk it out.
You can talk it out.
We gotta talk it out publicly. You put out a record.
You can talk it out.
We have to at least like be like, no, we squashed that. I apologize. Like, you put out a record. I'm not saying Game would ever do that. I'm saying I wouldn't do a record with him again.
I just want to point out that isn't it funny how women are the ones who have the stereotype of being petty and catty and
niggas is out here doing this.
I'm just and like
you love this.
Just like it's just so funny to me. I'm like,
no, niggas is catty.
Like, yeah. Really, this all sounds like a soap opera.
Yeah, it is a soap opera,
which is funny,
and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is. Yeah.
It's a good topic. It's a good wine and weed topic.
It is a great.
We're just kikiing in this bitch. Fuck it. Just talking.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you so much, Kiesha, for joining in.
Yes. I love you guys.
To our special guest, Jemele, thank you so much for coming.
Yes. I appreciate it. I had a lovely time, and you guys are hilarious. And most importantly, I love that you're just so much your authentic selves on this, and so that's important in this space, especially. So I really appreciated you inviting me to the cool kids table.
Yeah.
I was like, I always feel like 9,000 years old most days. So this helped me feel 8,000. So thank you. I appreciate it.
And we're big fans of you too.
Yeah, thanks so
much.
Thanks.
And check out the Unbothered podcast.
Yes, Jemele Hill is Unbothered. Like when you dropped Unbothered earlier, I was like, she's plugging me and she doesn't even know.
Oh, I know.
Anything else you want to shout out
to? Me and my good friend Carrie Champion, we have a show coming out on CNN Plus starting in March.
Yes.
So we're very excited about that. So I hope that people, come and support. So very excited.
We will be supporting. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Zip it up.
Zip it out.
Yay. That's my end. Yay.